Just look for a church that believes that God is. And that He is a rewarder for them who diligently seek Him. Amen. Amen. We heard enough preaching in Providence this morning. I don't even have to worry about trying to shout you. But I do want you to know, time is not as long as it has been. And we need to get serious about our soul salvation. Amen. Amen. I'm reminded, and I'm going to go to my seat. I'm reminded of King David. King David had everything. But one day he stepped out on his roof and looked over and saw another man's wife sunbathing. And he decided he needed to have her. Amen? David sent his servant out and brought Bathsheba over to him. Slept with her, impregnated her. And then he brought her husband Uriah home from the battle to cover up his dirty deed. Because if Uriah came home, slept with his wife, Uriah in the neighborhood would figure it was Uriah's child. But Uriah was a dedicated soldier. He refused to even go in the house with his wife because his fellow soldiers were out fighting on the battlefield. And he wouldn't even go in unto her. Angered David because it messed up his plan. David said, send him back. Put him in the forefront of the fight. Put him on the front line. Put Uriah on the front line. He was killed. And then David took his wife. And I'm saying all that to say, a lot of us, brothers and sisters, have messed up. Our life is as ragged as King David. But look what David did when the prophet came to him and told him about a man that only had one wee lamb. And the fellow who had a whole herd, a whole flock, took this man's one wee lamb. Asked David, what are we going to do? David said, pronounce judgment on him. And before he could get the sentence out of his mouth, the prophet said, thou art the man. As bad, as wicked as David was, God turned around and used David. God said, he's a man after mine own heart. David said, restore in me the joy of thy salvation. And so what I'm trying to say is, I don't care what you've done, how bad you think you are, how low you slip. God can raise you up. If God can raise up a David, if God can use a Paul, while his name was Saul, he held the coat as they stoned Stephen. He held their coats as they killed the deacon in God's church. But God turned right around and used this same man. God can use you. You may have done something that you think you could never be forgiven for. But I want you to know that God is a loving God. He's a merciful God. He's a long-suffering God. And so, brothers and sisters, on this day, know that whatever it is, you can always come back to God. God said, I'm married to the backslider. Some of us have done some things even today. Killed somebody with our thoughts. Hurt somebody with our tongue. Wounded somebody with our attitude. You can be healed. Amen. Men, women, I'm going to make it Women's Day too. Working together for the Lord. What a picture. If Pontiac is going to get better, it's got to start in the church. You can't legislate peace. I don't care what person you put in the White House. He can't write a proclamation better than what the Lord can do for his people. Amen? Amen. That's the message. That's the message. If when you give best of your service, telling the world that the Savior has come, be not dismayed. You understand and say, the Savior of sinners hung on the cross. Oh, he was God's only son. Oh, here for his Father in heaven, singing, God, I will, Lord, but let thy will be done. Oh, when the doors are open, my journey, the doors of eternity of life. Oh, the heaven is full in the victory was. Heaven is there. Most of redemption. You'll understand all about it and see well done. Oh, when I come to the end of my journey, we realize, oh, the battle is fought and the victory won. Carry the stand, all salvation. You'll understand. You'll understand. Yes, you will. I know you'll understand it. You'll understand all about it and say, well done. Well, how was that? Men working together to serve the Lord. Amen. What if we all took those 7 loaves to the mountain? I tell you, more than Pontiac would be served. I just wanted to say it was a blessing to have Speaker and Martin and the rest of them. Providence, thank you all for coming here. Remarks, take care of themselves. 7 loaves, we could all just take them to the mountain.
Amen. I would like to thank Reverend Martin for reminding the men, amen, to work together. Yeah. We know there must be someone in a group of men with a vision. But if you catch the vision and work together, for the good of the Lord, that vision will come to fruition. And I thank you, Reverend Martin, for those wonderful words and expressions for the men. I just want to take just a moment. Reverend Martin already knows about this and to others. This is dear to my heart. There's a black senator from Detroit that took to the Michigan House Senate Resolution G. Anybody heard of it? Besides Great Temple. I already told you about it this morning. Anybody else? See your pastor if you want to come. This resolution has already been passed by the Michigan House and Senate. But the next time we go to vote, we'll be voting on whether or not Michigan will instill the death penalty. And it reads that we shall not have, and this is in part, I'm paraphrasing. It reads that Michigan shall not have the death penalty. Thank you, Reverend. Here it is right here. I'll read it to you. Article 4, Section 46. No law shall be enacted providing for the penalty of death, except that the death penalty is permitted in cases of first-degree murder of a peace officer, that's a policeman, or a corrections officer, that's if you're in jail, what have you. While the peace officer, police officer, or corrections officer is engaged in his or her duties as a peace officer or corrections officer. Resolve further that the foregoing amendment shall be submitted to the people of the state at the next general election in the manner provided by law. That's what we're going to be voting on. I'm telling you this now because I want you to talk to your family, talk to your friends. If they're 18 and over and have not registered to vote, they need to register to vote. This is a time when men need to step up to the plate. Amen. Work together. I'm just going to put a pin right there. Because I just want to say this one thing. When my children were young, and I had a babysitter, I asked her, was she registered to vote? She said, no, ma'am. I said, then you no longer have a job. That's how important voting was to me. Amen. She got a job back when she came and showed me her voter registration card. But she went home and talked to her mama. Now,